Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Moses and I'm back again with another video. This one is an highly requested video. So you guys have been asking me, yo Moses, what are you using? What camera are you using for your videos? They look so good, they look so nice and all of that kind of things, right? And if you're one of those people thinking of starting your content creation journey in 2025, it's not too late. We're just only in middle of February, right? So if you're thinking of starting your content and you're wondering what gear is Moses Joshua using, I'm gonna be breaking it down for you in this video, and we're gonna be talking about all my camera gears, my settings, my lenses, audio, and all of that kind of stuff. So let's get right into it. Let's go. Alright, so before I start revealing pretty much all of my cameras and lenses, let's talk about three most important things that you really need to be successful in your content creation journey. Number one is, what value is your content really bringing? Nobody wants to be in here because you have fancy cameras and whatnot, right? If your content is actually not good, there's really nothing we're here for. The camera is not really going to do much for you, right? Like, you can use your phone camera and have a great content, something really important to talk about, something really important to show your audience and all of those kind of things, right? So if you have a good value creating content, right? If you're giving your audience really nice value with your content, they will want to come back. It doesn't even matter what camera you're using. And number two, this one is really important. Consistency. How often are you showing up? Do you just post once in 2 months and you ghost your audience again? You have to be consistent. Show up no matter what. No matter the gear you're using, just keep showing up. Number three, which is the most important thing, even before we start talking about cameras, is your audio. Your audio has to sound good. And I'm going to start from there. If your audio is not good, nobody wants to listen to it. If it is too noisy, if it is so lousy, if it is just all over the place, distorted, nobody wants to listen to that kind of audio. You might be using camera phone to record the quality of your video, but the quality of your audio is very important. That is what will keep the audience to continue listening. I don't want to hurt my ears listening to you if you don't sound good, right? So let's talk about that. If I'm using audio for my audio gears, I'm using a couple of different things. Because I'm an audio engineer, I can pretty much kind of like do different things. But for the sake of content creation, there are different kind of options you can go with, right? You can start with all these, microphones that people put on their clip right now. I do have this one called Wireless Profile by Sennheiser, right? I'm going to show you right here. And I think I've done a quick review and unboxing of this before. This is a very very good product, in my opinion. All you need to do is, kind of just pop open, the clip here. You can kind of clip this to your cloth. You can put it on your chest. It has a magnet that you can put through your cloth, and you can, you've seen all of those videos before on Instagram, on TikTok. Creators are using it. This is the one I choose for my own content creation. Sennheiser Wireless Profile, really dope product. And you can also, one of the things I like about it, you can also put it in this case right here. The two microphones are in here, right? You can also put it in this case like this and actually like speak to it like this and kind of hold it like this in your hands, which is really super cool. So this is the one I've been using. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to get it. It's a really great product. You can also use some other options. Other options are like, you can choose to record your audio directly into an audio interface or into some other kind of audio recording device. You could use this microphone that I'm using right now. This is the staple for microphones right now for podcasting and things like that. I'm sure you guys have seen this microphone. This is the Shure SM7B. I'm kind of borrowing this mic, checking it out. I'm thinking of getting one of these, so I wanted to see what it actually looks like, what it sounds like with my voice as well, because I've been using a lot of dynamic mics before, and I'm thinking of upgrading my dynamic mic into something like this. Maybe it will add more difference to it. We'll see if that kind of works out for me like that. So you could use the Shure SM7B. You could also use This one is also one of my favorite microphones. Sennheiser MKE 600, right? Let me put it in here a little bit more so that you can see it. It's a shotgun microphone, and what that means is this microphone can be a little far away from me. I can be off the camera like this, and I can be speaking to it from a longer distance, and it picks up my voice really well. It can also pick up the room a little bit. You can kind of be careful. You want to be careful about that because it can pick up some of the room. The disadvantage of this audio setup with external microphones like this is that you're gonna need some kind of audio interface to record into it. You're gonna need some kind of audio recording device. The one I typically use is this Zoom H. I have this Zoom H4n. Some of you might have seen this before. There are other versions, Zoom H6, Zoom H8. You can use this and record into a memory and an SD card, right? You can just record your microphone straight into that. It's really simple, but if you want the simplest way, which kind of just records directly to your phone, this is the way to go. That's why you see a lot of creators using it. You can just record straight into your phone or record straight into your camera. You don't need another external setup for your audio, recording, right? So that's an option. And you can now mix it a little bit in post, or you can choose not to mix it and just leave your voice in there like that. Even with that setup alone, you are halfway there. You are halfway there with the quality of the sound. But if you're looking to kind of just step it up a little bit, you can start by tweaking your your EQ setting, your compression, your all those little things. And if you don't know what that means, you can just get a copy of my mix template in Studio One, Logic, Pro Tools. If you have any of those DAW, you can download my template, purchase a copy, and drag and drop your audio into there. Use the lead vocal preset that I have in there, and you can export your lead vocals in a way that is much more professional sounding, I would say. So now let's get to the fun stuff, the cameras. So let's start with my third camera that I normally use for recording. This one is the one I put on the drummer's angle a lot, right? So this is the DJI Action 4, right? I'm bringing it closer to the screen. This is DJI Action 4. This is a very, very good camera. It gets the job done. It records in 4K. It records for longer hours as long as you charge the battery properly, and you can even plug in a USB to it, keep it charging, and keep recording for as long as you want, as long as you have enough space on your SD card. So I put this on the drum cam angle. I have this little cage for it. The reason I have this cage for it is so that I can screw this to a mount and something like that. So I just put this DJI right here, put it in here like this, put it inside this cage, and then screw it to a particular stand or some clip mounts or things like that. So it's easier for me to kind of just clip this on. So that's the DJI Osmo Action 4. There is Action 5 that is already out right now if you want to buy that. Better quality. For me, I don't feel like it is way far away from DJI Action 4 for me to go and buy that one again, since I already have this. But if you're just looking to buy and invest in something like this, you might as well just go ahead and buy the latest version because it has a little bit more quality to it. So I put both the links to DJI Action 4 and DJI Action 5 in the description so that you can kind of, if you want to use that. My next camera, my other camera, is this amazing camera. This one is a game changer for me. I can't talk about this enough. This is the Sony A6700, right? So right here, if you can see that, let's bring it this way a little bit. So that is Sony A6700. It has a really great function. I can't talk about this camera enough. Now, if you're one of those people who is like a camera freak and you understand more about camera, this one is what they call the crop sensor camera, the APS-C camera. So the image quality, even though it's so good, but can be better with a full frame camera, right? So The full frame camera kind of just give you a little more quality to it. Sometimes you cannot even tell the difference. The normal high can tell the difference. So this is the one I put on the I use this myself on myself, or I can put it on the base angle. It doesn't even matter. This doesn't have a recording limit. One of the reasons why I got this was back in the day I was using the Sony A7 Mark III. A7 Mark III, Alpha 7 Mark III was the one I was using, and it has a recording limit of 30 minutes. It used to piss me off so much. If we have to record something and 30 minutes, it will stop. I have to start recording it again. I have to stand up. I have to press record again. I've lost footage, I've lost concentration. I just want something where I can record and not have to worry about, has it stopped recording? Is it still recording? And things like that. This one is a game changer. No recording limit, 4K, a lot of options. This camera is really, really great. So if you want to grab it, go grab it. There's a new version as well that they have, Alpha ZV E10 Mark II. Make sure it is Mark II. Mark 1 is a little different. Mark II, very much closer to this, even a little more compact, and it gives you pretty much the same quality as this. And it's really amazing. You can grab that as well. Link in the description. And I have one more camera, the one I'm using to shoot right now. This one is the Sony A7C Mark II. A7C Mark II. So this one has pretty much full frame sensor. As you can see, it's a full frame. You can see it's kind of a little wider than the Sony A6700. You see that, that sensor area is a little wider. That is why they call it the full frame, right? So that's the one I'm using to film right now as I'm speaking to you. It's a really, really, really great camera. Again, the same technology, same menu system as the A6700. Nothing is really different except that it is a full frame sensor, a little bit more quality to it, and you can kind of enjoy that feature a little bit more. No recording limit, 4K. Actually, I heard it is 6K oversampled or downsampled down to 4K. So it's like you're getting the 6K quality, but they've compressed it down to 4K. So even though you're watching 4K, but the actual quality is like 6K, which is really insane to me to think about that. It's really nice. No issues with the two of these cameras. I have a bunch of batteries around. They both use similar batteries. The A67C and A6700, they use the same battery, so you can kind of interchange the battery, swap out the battery if one dies, and you can buy multiple batteries, charge them, and kind of just use them. So now let's talk about the lenses. I have 4 lenses that I use majorly. We can start with this one. This one is the Sony 11mm f1.8, right? So this one is pretty much from Sony, 1.8 aperture, 11mm wide angle, and I'm going to explain the meaning of this wide angle and what all these numbers really mean in a second. This is lens number 1. My second lens that I also use, especially when recording at church for live performance and things like that, is this one here. This one is Sigma. This one is from Sigma 10 to 18mm f2.8. That is this one right here. So even a little wider than the Sony that I just showed you. So this one is f2.8, nothing too much going on, 10mm, very, very wide enough in my opinion. And we have another one here. This one is what I would use when I'm kind of like trying to shoot a long range. So this one is 18mm to like 50mm, right? So I have 10 to 18 and then 18 to 50. Both of them are Sigma, and they are for crop sensor. Actually, the 3 of them that I just showed you right now, they are all for APS-C lens. One good thing about Sony camera is, and I don't know about the other camera brands, and I hope maybe they are similar, you can use the lens, an APS-C lens, even on a full frame. And that goes to my last lens right here, which is the Sigma 16mm. This is the one I'm using to record myself right now, Sigma 16mm f1.4. So this one is really, really good for like sitting down, talking to the camera like I am speaking right now, decently wide, the bokeh is so nice, and really nice aperture lets in so much light into your camera so that you don't have to bump up your ISO. Now, what does all these numbers really mean? What do you mean by f1.8 11 millimeters? What does that mean? When you hear 11 millimeters, for those who don't understand what that means it is actually very wide. So like a wider angle, the lower the number, the wider the lens will cover. So if the lens says 10 millimeters, that means it's going to cover a lot. I necessarily don't know what that millimeters really like, are you saying from the lens to the subject? I'm not sure. But I know that, while I was learning how to film myself and all of those kind of things, the smaller the number, the wider it will cover. So if you see 50 millimeters, that means for you to see me like this camera will have to be far away from me. 50 millimeters it's quite long. I can't be doing a sit-down video with 50 millimeters. Well, I can, but the camera just have to be far away from me, right? That's just one thing. So when you hear 11 millimeters, you know that it's wide. You can have it right in front of you. Right now, I'm speaking to you at 16 mm. Imagine what 11 millimeters will do if I'm speaking to 11 millimeters at the same position of the camera. You will even see more of my background. So that's why I use this 11 millimeters, and 10 millimeters at church, because so I can pretty much use my hand and press record from where I'm sitting, and it covers the entire band from where I'm sitting, right? If that makes sense. That's why I need that wide angle. And when you see what the aperture means, when you see, aperture 1.8, 1.4, this one says E1.8. Most of the time people call it F1.8, 1.4, F1.2, F2.8. Right, like the one I just showed you in here. This one is it says 1 to 2.8. I don't know if you can see that. 1 to 2.8, somewhere in there, right? Saying the more this f2.8, it's like, the way I understand it, as someone who don't understand anything about camera from before, is if you have f1.4, you can allow in more light into your camera. So what that means is you don't need to bump up your ISO. Your ISO, it's like a setting on your camera where you are controlling how bright or how much light is coming into your camera, right? So if you have f1.4, for example, that I'm using right now, I am at an ISO of 125, which is very, very low. The advantage of that is you will have less noise on your image, because you are at a very low ISO. And also with that f1.4, you have blurry background, a lot of blurry background. Like you can see on my screen right now, the background is decently blurred because I am using f1.4. If I'm using f2.8, for example, this background will not be this blur. So the lower the f-stop value, right, also has something to do with how much blurriness you will get in your background. I hope that kind of just makes sense, right? It will help you to reduce your ISO, and you have to make sure you have that setting on your camera, right? Just because you have an f1.8 lens doesn't mean once you drop it on your camera, it will just be 1.8. It can also go to 2.8, 1. There's 1.8. If this is 1.8, for example, it goes up to 2.0, 2.4, 2.6, 2.8 and above, and things like that. It keeps going up like that. But remember, the more you are going up, the darker it will get. Then you will have to now bump it up with your ISO to compensate for that darkness of that f-stop. And you are also losing what? You're also losing background blur, which we also call bokeh, whatever people call it, right? So hope that kind of makes sense. Watch out for those numbers when you're buying lenses. Don't just buy lenses. That's why even when you're buying camera, if you're not sure of the kind of lens you need, buy the body only first. This is what they call body only, right? There's no lens coming with it. It's just the camera body. And then you can choose, you can decide, what do I need as a lens? Am I a photographer who just want to photograph things and I don't want to be up close on people, because this is really close to me. This is my hand right now in front of the lens, very close to me. If I want to use this lens to photograph people and get decent image, I will have to be up close to them, and people don't like that. Like, you're pretty much in their space, right? You want to like back up a little bit, and that means if you want to get something like this while you're backing up, then you need, something like 35 mm, 50 mm, 85 mm, and things like that. Then you can start thinking of, what kind of lens do I need? What kind of f-stop do I need for my lens? Do I need it to be, have all this background blur in my shot, or do I just need any kind of lens, right? So think about that when you are buying your lenses. And also, sometimes in crunch time, I use my phone to record. This is an iPhone 13 Pro. Nothing much is going on. As you can see, a lot of content creators have been going back into using their iPhones to record videos nowadays, and it's like, okay, a lot of people have been accepting that. In fact, iPhone videos have been the one. Some brands will even ask you, we just want it to be iPhone, because they think it looks much more organic than a full-blown production and a camera and background blur and all of that kind of thing. So use your iPhone as well. As long as you get good audio, you're good to go. I hope this video has been so helpful. If it has, please like, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I'm begging you right now, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 100k subscribers this year, and that will be an amazing achievement. So please subscribe to the channel, and put a comment down below if you've been thinking of the gear you're gonna get, and now you kind of know what I use. So go ahead and get yourself something like that if you want to go in that direction. And I might tell you as well, I have links to all of these gears below in my description. These are affiliate links on Amazon. If you use it, I might be able to get a kickback on commission and whatnot. Again, it doesn't add anything to what you're paying to Amazon or whoever it is that is selling. Use that link below, and you can also support the channel that way. Thank you so much. And I also have other products down below there. Go ahead, check it out. If it is something you need, go ahead and grab a copy for yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Cheers. Bye for now.